All right, folks. Well, we are back from our trip with Donald. It was a great few weeks out, fishing, camping, overlanding, but we've come back to the shop and it's a absolute pigsty. So I've got a couple days before I head off on my next adventure, so I'm going to take a few minutes today to try to clean up a few things. Plus, I want to upgrade a couple things in the shop, namely the lighting. We've also got a couple of new products that I need to unbox and get out and maybe think about getting set up and maybe even play with a little bit, of course, and try them out. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna work on trying to straighten up a few things, get some tools put away, and then we're going to hang some more of these lights here. All right, so this is a couple tools I'm very excited about adding to the shop. Ever since I started renting a shop space so that I had a place to start working on my van and doing a lot of my own projects, I've been working on outfitting that shop with as many tools as I possibly can, so that way I can DIY pretty much anything I want for the van or any other vehicle, potential vehicle I may end up with on the channel. These two pieces here are gonna help me start building this shop into more of a metal fabrication shop. My last shop just did not have the power capability to handle anything like welding or plasma cutting. So I just steered away from that kind of stuff and typically had that stuff still sourced out and done. But now that I'm in a shop that has the power and capability to do that, I have plenty of 110 power and I've got 220 power. I am definitely working on making this more of a metal fabrication shop, not just a wood shop. So these couple things here are gonna really help me with that. Now this is obvious. This is a chop saw. It's a metal chop saw. It's specifically for cutting metal. This is not designed for wood. It runs at a slower speed so that way it can cut through metal and not dull the blade. It's got a blade that's specifically for metal cutting. And so this is going to be great because if you guys have been following along the channel, I talked about that I'm going to be rebuilding the bumper on the back of the van, and we'll talk about that more soon. But I've also got some other metal projects beyond that. But the big one coming up is rebuilding the bumper. Now this one, air is always important in a shop. There's a lot of reasons why you'd use air, and having a air hose and a way to keep that air hose tidy is awesome in a shop. And the main reason why I want air is I want to run the plasma cutter. You got to have air for the plasma cutter, but of course, airing up tires or anything like that, running air tools is all super handy, and being able to have a hose that can reach around the shop and work wherever you want to work, but then be able to wind back up and be tidy somewhere and you don't have trip hazards and problems like that is going to be great. This is one thing that I want to get installed today. I want to get it actually set up and installed so that way I can hook it up to my air compressor. And then I would like to, I don't have really any project to do today, but I do have some scrap metal. I'd like to fire this thing up and do a couple cuts and see how it works. All right guys, so I've decided where I'm going to put the air hose reel. I'm going to put it right here with it kind of more offset to this one side. I actually would like to have it over here, but because I have this electrical box and this is where my 220 and I've got power here, I don't want it to be there. I thought about maybe putting it above it, but I was afraid if the hose was coming back and reeling back, it'd be hitting this box all the time. And I don't know if I'd end up causing an issue or not, but I just felt like that was probably a bad idea. I moved my toolbox out of the way. I'm gonna have to kind of rearrange a few things to make this work. By having it here, I have good access because it's a 50-foot hose. I'll have good access throughout the rest of the shop, but I'll also have good access to access the vehicles and air up tires outside the shop. Now Vevor did send some hardware that you can actually drill in, like if you have a cement wall or a brick wall, you have these anchors that you can drill in and then you can mount it that way. I am going to use these, but I'm going to put a piece of 2x6 just across the span here, and then I'm going to drill in, and then I'm going to put these anchors into that 2x6 and have them expand inside that 2x6 and hopefully maybe not split it, but enough to where it can hold it. I think that'll work out okay. All right, so I'm getting ready to hang this board up on the wall, which is gonna have the mounts on it for the reel. I was gonna show you guys how I did this, how I put these in, but I stupidly forgot to hit record. So all I did is, like I said, these are anchors and they spread open in the back and wedge themselves in. So I just drilled holes big enough, shoved them in, and then tightened down the bolts, sucking them in, and then that widened them out, and that's got them in there really nice and secure. All right, so far so good. This is actually going pretty easy. We've got it all mounted. It's secure up here, it swivels. So I'm ready to hook up my air compressor. Now they actually do give a little length of hose that you can run down from here down to your air compressor, but my air compressor is gonna be at the other end of the shop, so this little length of hose isn't gonna work. So I already have a hose that I have ran over here. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up. Now, I think I'm going to, and I don't have it right now, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and add in another air dryer between the air compressor and this. My plasma cutter came with one, or came with a water catch, but I wanna add another device that should help dry the air, because you really want that when you're running a plasma cutter. But for right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and hook this up just so I can get this thing working and tested. All right, so I've got my air hose hooked up. Last thing I'm gonna do is hook up my quick connect. Now they don't send a quick connect with this. It doesn't look like. I wasn't able to find anything, which is probably fine because there's a couple different types of these quick connects, and you're definitely gonna want to have the ones that are for your air system or other tools that you've already have. So I already have one laying around the shop. So all I have to do is get a couple of wrenches and get this tightened up, and then we should be able to hook up something and test out the air. All right, guys, well, she's all aired up. I don't have a little squirt bottle with some soap in it to just double check everything really good, but I've just went around audibly and I don't hear any leaks. So I think we're all set here, and we should be able to, get this to pull out to the vehicles out on the platform and be able to reach all the different places in the shop. And it'll be nice to have it just tidy away when I'm not using it. All right, so I've come outside and I'm gonna try out this new chop saw. Now, one of the things I've noticed right out of the gate is you do have a fence here, and it's nice that you can cut angles and do that kind of stuff. I did take some time to square it up and make sure that I was on. There are indentions here and showing the different numbers, but there's nothing that kind of drops it for sure into the zero position. So even though you kind of have it on zero, you might still want to use a square to make sure you're perfectly zeroed out. Now, the one thing I don't like is it doesn't seem to have a way to take the piece, like if you're working a piece of square stock, it doesn't have an adapter like some of the other ones I've seen on the market that allows you to clamp this in at an angle. So you have to always cut it flat. And from what I understand, I'm not a professional at this, that if you can cut it at an angle, it's easier on the blades overall. So that's a disappointment. Maybe in the future they can add some kind of little adapter that will like chuck these up and hold them. Maybe I'll even try to make something for this in the future that holds these at a, basically at an angle. As it is right now, I'm gonna try it out. So I'm gonna get some gloves on and some ear protection, and we're gonna see how this thing works. All right, guys, so I'm really impressed with this already. So looking at these couple pieces of metal that I cut, this is the side here that I originally did with a cutoff wheel back when I originally cut this steel. This side here is the side that I cut with this. You know, looking at the side I cut with the cutoff wheel, it's just not very good. I wasn't very straight with my cut. I can also see like little jagged edges and places where, you know, I twisted the cutoff wheel a little bit here or there, and it just didn't make a real clean cut. This actually did really nice. I can see a couple spots here where it just a little metal hanging off that I have to clean up with a sander. But other than that, it is a really nice clean cut. And the other thing that was nice is, I mean, this thing just went through it effortlessly. Now this is like 3/16 steel, so mild steel, so it's not that big a deal, but still, to just get a nice clean cut and have it go through it, like, I mean, it went through it like butter. And that just, man, that's awesome. I'm really excited about now having this as part of my shop tools. This is gonna make rebuilding the new bumper so much easier, because I'm gonna have to cut a lot of square stock when it comes to building the swing outs for the bumper. But yeah, I'm really happy with this so far. Hopefully it will continue to work good for me, because yeah, this is very exciting. All right, guys, well, we moved on to the next day. I spent the evening last night just trying to continue and organize the shop, and we've gotten a lot done. It's still far from what I want. There's still a lot of things I need to go through and probably get rid of, and just things I need to find proper homes for and all that. But one of the challenges I'm having with the shop right now is it doesn't have any lighting other than the one light you see there, which is one I already added. I'm going to be adding 3 more of those, exact same light. I got that at Home Depot, and I've got, like I said, I've got them right here. And the nice thing about them is they link together and they're just plug-in lights. So there's nothing permanently going into the building, because I am just renting this building. So if I ever leave, I can take these easily take these lights with me to the next place if I need them. Like I said, I've got one light over the workbench here, and I want to get another light over that workbench, and I want to get another one over here. And then I have an extra one, which after I get those lights up and kind of get a feel from there, I'll decide where that third light needs to go in order to get best coverage. All right, so real quick, one of the reasons why I like these lights is they have a little motion sensor, so that way when you just walk into the room, the light comes on, and then it stays on for around 10 minutes and then will go out. But as long as it continues to see motion, it stays on. Super handy for the shop, because in that way, as soon as I walk in, the light comes on, and then when I'm done in the shop and shut the doors, I don't have to remember to shut the lights off. They'll all shut off on their own. Now lastly, here's the hardware that comes with the light. You get a couple of pieces of chain so you can hang it. You get some hooks here, so that way, you know, you can have something to hang the chains off of. Now you do get a power cord, and it has these 2 little round type connectors, and then you get an adapter. The way these lights work is you actually can daisy chain them from one light to the next, so that way you're only using one power outlet. So we're going to be trying to do that with this light and the one that's going to go over here. And then that way I only have to use one of my new outlets that I had put in, that my buddy put in for me. So anyways, let's get this thing hung up. All right, so that is that job done. It actually went really smoothly. It was really easy to hang these lights, and it took me only about an hour and a half to complete the whole job. And about an hour of that was just me running around the shop looking for my glasses, trying to figure out where I had laid them down. I don't know about you guys, but if I could have all the time back in my life that I've spent looking for my glasses, I could get a lot more things done. I am glad to have these lights in. It's awesome. You know, before when I came into the shop, I had to wear a headlamp just to look into my toolbox because it was so dark in here. So now having lighting in pretty much all the workspaces is gonna be a huge upgrade and allow me to get a lot more things done. I think that does it for all the projects I wanna get done while I'm here right now. I'm ready to take off again tomorrow and get started on another little adventure. I still think we're a long ways from having this shop set up to be the fabrication shop that I'm hoping it to be, but this, I think, got us a whole lot closer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is fun for me to get out and spend a lot of time outdoors, but like the typical guy I am, I love to be able to spend time in the shop as well, tinkering on projects. So if you guys feel me on that, leave a comment down below, and we'll catch you guys again outside. All right.